University police are using to enforce campus housing policies.
Plus, we get an exclusive look at the Central Coast from above from a CHP helicopter. We'll tell you what we learned from the pilots firsthand.
And to see what one Cal Poly athlete did to break another record.
Broadcasting from Studio 300 on Cal Poly's campus, you're watching Mustang News.
I'm Kim Westlund.
And I'm Lisa Diaz. You're watching our weekly half-hour broadcast of Mustang News. Halloween weekend festivities are over, and most Cal Poly students stayed out of trouble. Both University and San Luis Obispo police departments are reporting a low number of arrests for the weekend. UPD arrested a total of 5 people for public intoxication and other alcohol violations. While SLO PD has not yet determined how many of their arrests were Cal Poly students, they say this year's Halloween festivities were milder than years past. Fines for noise violations, public intoxication, and minors in possession were doubled for the weekend.
Students were evacuated from their Sequoia Hall dorms Sunday night when a fire started. Police received a call just before 4 p.m. about the electrical fire in a dorm room on the 3rd floor. The fire started when an electrician reset a breaker. The resulting surge overloaded an electrical outlet in room 305. That plug became so hot that the wires melted and the outlet cover ignited. That led to a nearby mattress also catching fire.
They were saying it was another kid's room, but then I saw smoke coming from my room. So then I knew it was my room and I started to freak out a little bit.
Freshmen living next to the room helped put the fire out. No one was hurt, and the 3 freshmen that live in room 305 have been assigned to new dorm rooms for the rest of the quarter.
There has been talk about drug dogs on campus. We clear up those rumors. The word is out. On-campus residents are subject to random searches conducted by drug-sniffing dogs.
I don't think that's a very fair thing, because I think in order for them to be allowed to do something like that, I think they should have some sort of probable cause or a tip-off that we might be doing something that we're not allowed to do.
But the rumors that random drug searches have already happened this year are false.
That's really very interesting, and, it's amazing how rumors get started and people's imaginations, and, but to my knowledge, and we work very closely with the University Police Department there, that hasn't occurred yet this year.
Mustang News obtained emails through the California Public Records Act that showed that university police were planning on using drug dogs on October 17th for a random sweep, but those dogs were already in use by the county sheriffs. Drug dogs have been used on campus in the past, as recently as last March. Students are torn on whether bringing in the canine units invades their personal space. Some support it.
Just kind of keeping students from making bad decisions, I guess.
Some think the energy would be better spent elsewhere.
I don't think it should be a very big priority. The priority is monitoring what's going on our campus rather than what kids have in their room.
Lisa. Criminal defense lawyer Steve Graham says the practice is legal at California state schools, especially if the dogs stay in the hallways where police are already allowed.
It's Freedom Week on campus, and students are expressing their political views. The Cal Poly Republicans Club built a fake Berlin Wall on Monday where students could write their thoughts and opinions. The wall was torn down on Wednesday after being filled with comments.
In the name of freedom and all the rights and liberties men and women have risked it all for, I declare, tear down this wall.
Mr. Gorbachev!
Like that. Students started discussions and debates on the wall from the time it went up on Monday morning until when it was torn down on Wednesday evening. The Cal Poly Republicans Club says they will build an even bigger wall next year.
There you go. There you go.
Cal Poly is planning to make a major change on campus, and many SLO community members are against it.
You put this group of freshmen here, it's just 1,500 more kids that are coming into the neighborhoods.
First year experience where they're sharing a room.
The university has plans to build more student housing, but a public forum on Wednesday made it clear that community members have their concerns. Their main worries were students partying, drinking, and parking in their neighborhoods.
One of the things that we need to do, that I firmly believe, is that we need to change and work strategically to remove the alcohol from the neighborhood. The project was designed to look upon itself and create these...
The new housing is an attempt to meet the demands of a growing student population and will be built in the student parking lot on Grand Avenue across from Yosemite Hall. If the project is approved by the Cal Poly Board of Trustees, construction will begin in 2015. There are plans for more community meetings, but no dates are set yet. This Monday, Cal Poly students will have a day off from school to honor those who serve our country. I took a look at the veteran experience here on campus.
I guess this may sound weird, but it kind of could be intimidating. I'm thinking, I just want to be like normal, like kind of just, I'm just going to school like you guys. I'm not anything different.
Brock Andrew is a veteran of the Marine Corps.
I got out 5 months ago, so I was still kind of transitioning and everything, and I wasn't sure what to expect.
For Brock, the transition from the military to Cal Poly is overall pretty smooth. Veterans on campus say that their only obstacle is...
age is a really important factor.
My grade is going to be 18, 19-year-old, and I'm 23.
You can't laugh at the same jokes. You can't talk about the same things. Because music that you listen to, for them, it's like, oh, that's like my parents' music.
Both Adam and Dan went to a community college after returning from Iraq and Afghanistan. Cal Poly has not been as helpful as they would like in easing their transition.
My old school took care of all of the paperwork, so there was like a lot less anxiety.
And there's a lot of things I just didn't know, wasn't aware that I needed to do.
Yeah, I know they said that they're working on maybe getting an office for the veterans, but apparently has been under works for a while now, and it's still...
I think it's just because there's not a high volume of veterans. It's kind of hard to cater to such a small group.
Veterans already have a lot of stress on them already, and their lives are already, stressful. So we don't need any more of that.
One place where veterans can seek out other former service members on campus is the Cal Poly Veterans Club. We've all been to the beach and seen and maybe hiked Bishop Peak and the walk to class on campus.
But Brianna Whitney got an exclusive look at some of these Central Coast landmarks from a different perspective, and she is giving us a sneak peek. She joined us live from the newsroom. Brianna?
Yeah, Kim, California Barros and Todd Brethor took me up in their helicopter during one of their routine patrol flights and gave me exclusive information that many Cal Poly students may not know about popular places on the Central Coast.
There's two pools. There's a Neptune pool, which you can see right now. It's kind of at the west edge. And there's also a pool that's inside that structure. It's like an indoor pool.
From exotic animals that roam near Hearst Castle to the type of air rescue CHP makes at Bishop Peak, pilot Ontiveros shared the history and secrets of nearby landmarks as we flew down the shoreline. The flight took about an hour and a half, and Ontiveros says there's only one way to see it all.
There's just so many recreational areas out there that you just don't know unless you go explore.
The pilots make patrol flights like this daily and say during the 8-hour day, they spend about 4 hours in the air. Now, one of the places we flew over is extremely confidential and private with little to no public access, but we got a first-hand look. To find out what landmark that is and to watch the full story, you can go to mustangnews.net. Reporting live from the newsroom, Brianna Whitney, Mustang News. Back to you.
Thanks, Brianna. That looks like a great vantage point. San Luis Obispo CHP Air Operations covers the coast from Santa Cruz down to the Ventura County line.
Find out how a Cal Poly student turned his hobby into some extra cash.
And a 300-year-old footprint. We'll tell you how one Cal Poly professor found it.
Daylight saving time is over, and students set their clocks back to Pacific Standard Time last weekend. Studies show that people tend to do better during this time of the year because they get an extra hour of sleep. Students in morning classes tend to be more awake and more likely to attend, while students in night classes are feeling the opposite effect. Spring daylight saving time causes more depression due to the loss of an extra hour of sleep.
Especially on the spring side, because people have more accidents. There are like 7% more traffic accidents the Monday following the spring shift because people are not awake. This one we do well. We get 7% fewer traffic accidents.
Freeburg recommends that students maintain their normal routine in order to properly adjust to daylight saving time.
The craft sale went on this week, and reporter Trent Murfield found a talented Cal Poly student who shares his passion of pottery.
ASI's annual craft sale ended Wednesday afternoon, and I got to speak with Cal Poly senior Lawrence Smith about his passion. Lawrence has been throwing, the term used for shaping pottery with your hands on a wheel, for 8 years. And this is where senior mechanical engineering student Lawrence Smith found his passion in pottery. He liked throwing so much at Cal Poly that he now works at the Craft Center as a pottery instructor.
When I started working here, it just became a really good outlet to go to during the day, and I do it pretty much nonstop.
Lawrence makes all ceramics pieces. He said he makes mostly vases, but he also makes bowls and mugs.
With a vase like this, it's something I threw and then carved with an X-Acto blade to make shapes. The idea is you could put like a candle in or something and check out the shadows.
After all the years of experience in pottery, Lawrence said he enjoys getting orders from people and seeing that smile on their face when they are excited. Trent Murfield, Mustang News.
It's always awesome to see someone doing what they love.
Cal Poly is asking for an exemption request from the California State University's mandate to cap engineering units. The mandate was authorized in order to improve graduation rates and make sure universities have more openings. But Cal Poly has faced problems complying with the mandate. Associate Vice Provost Mary Pedersen argues that the quality of the engineering program would go down since the classes would have to be cut, making it harder to reach accreditation standards. If the exemption request fails, then Cal Poly plans on trying to limit the number of general education courses that students have to take.
Cal Poly's undergraduate architecture program is the best in the nation. According to the Greenway Group's rankings of America's top architecture schools, Cal Poly is #1 for the year 2014. The university's Learn by Doing motto may be the reason Cal Poly stand out as a top program.
In addition to students actually, say, building things that they design, they also do a lot of community service work, and so there's a very high kind of visibility component to the effort that's going on here.
The Greenway Group asked almost 700 architecture firms and corporations which schools best prepare their students for practice. Cal Poly beat out Cornell University as the top program, which had previously been ranked #1 for the past 5 years.
The library is now providing a place for students to charge their phones called the Power Up Station. The station has 10 lockers with charge cords inside so students can leave their phones charging while they study without worrying about them being stolen. Students enter any 4-digit code in the keypad and can leave their phone locked away for charging as long as they want.
The phone charger in the library, I think it's something that's really cool in case somebody is like in the library for hours, like most people are, and they can be able to charge their phone.
Each locker has a charge cord for both iPhones and Androids. The Power Up Station is on the first floor of the library in the 24-hour study room.
A former Cal Poly professor is teaching people about the California missions. Dr. Robert Hoover spoke Wednesday night at the mission in San Luis Obispo about archaeology. Hoover was an anthropology major at Cal Poly, and now he's doing archaeological digs at California missions. He researched at Mission San Antonio in Northern California, where he found many historical pieces, including a 300-year-old footprint.
So everything that went on at the mission, especially things that I'm interested in, like the economic stuff and the technological stuff, that's all preserved underground. And it's a wonderful thing that could keep archaeologists busy for generations.
Hoover still doesn't know why he was chosen for the archaeological dig, but he says every time he asks, the padre that gave him the job just looks up towards the heavens.
Coming up, we'll have your weekend weather.
And up next in sports, a lot of teams are starting their seasons. And we'll find out what the Mustangs men's soccer team needs to do to make the playoffs.
Welcome back to Mustang News.
Trent Murfield is in the studio to tell us what weather we can be expecting this weekend. Trent?
Hey guys, I'm happy to bring you your weekend weather. You can expect cool nights with lows in the high 40s this weekend, and you can expect fog in the mornings with the sun to burn that up in the afternoon and then fog again at night. And you can expect a beautiful Veterans Day this Monday with highs in the mid-70s. Let's take a look at your highs for today. Up in Paso Robles, it is 79 for today. Down in Atascadero, it will be 82. San Luis Obispo will be 81. Napomo 79, Santa Maria 73, and all the way down in Santa Barbara 77. Let's take a look at your 5-day forecast. Here on Thursday, there will be a high of 81 with a low of 48. On Friday, a high of 77 with your lows in the upper 40s. On Saturday, your high will be in the low 70s, partly cloudy like the rest of the week, and your lows will be in 50, the low 50s. And Sunday, the highs will be in the mid to low 60s with your lows in the 50s. And Monday, finally, you will have 68 as your high and 50 as your low. Back to you guys at the desk.
Wow, it sounds like it's going to be a beautiful holiday weekend.
Yeah, and along with that, we're going to have a lot of good sports starting this week as well.
Yeah, I can't wait for Cal Poly to take on Arizona. What a powerhouse.
Yeah,
Awesome.
It should be a good game. College basketball is back, and our Mustangs are more than ready to take on another year. This Friday, Cal Poly men's basketball program is opening up their season at University of Arizona. The game will be nationally televised on Pac-12 Network with the tip-off at 7 p.m. The Mustangs are highly highlighted by senior forward Chris Eversley, who was recently named finalist for the National Senior Class Award. Eversley was also named to the preseason All-Big West first team. On the women's side, the Mustangs travel to Chicago, where they take on Duquesne University on Friday afternoon. The Mustangs are coming off 3 back-to-back Big West regular season championships, making their first NCAA appearance last season.
I think that the team has an idea about how hard that was to get to that place of a championship level.
The Mustangs are led by senior Molly Schlemmer, who was a 2013 Big West Player of the Year. The Mustangs were selected to defend the Big West Conference title in the preseason poll. Now to Cal Poly football. The Mustangs are taking on Sacramento State this Saturday at Spano Stadium. The Mustangs are in great form after their 34-16 victory over UC Davis this past Saturday, where they piled up 414 yards on the ground. Quarterback Chris Brown rushed for 3 touchdowns, a Cal Poly QB record, and 195 yards on the ground. The Mustangs are currently 4-5 and will need to win out to finish over 500. And to do so, they will need a strong performance from their defense, which has allowed just under 11 points per game over the last 4 games. Kickoff is set for 6:05 p.m. Cal Poly has 2 new Big West trophies on campus. We went to Fairbanks Memorial Course to see the Mustangs sweep the cross-country championships.
Yeah, it was really exciting. The cross-country team looks great, and I think they'll go very far this year.
All right.
The Cal Poly Mustangs are Big West champions. Both the men's and women's team ran their way to big victories in front of an energetic home crowd.
Oh man, that's the sickest thing I've ever seen in my life. Just all the people out here. We had the whole track team, complete strangers I've never seen before. It's awesome just to have a fan base like this, especially in San Luis Obispo, such a big running community.
Moriarty came in second, running the 8K course in 25 minutes and 22 seconds, 3 seconds behind race winner.
Team effort, definitely. We worked together throughout the course, and we kind of pulled away at the end, so it was a good day all around.
5 Mustang runners placed in the men's top 14. This is the 2nd year in a row and the 3rd time overall that the teams have swept the championships.
We knew there's some other good runners and other good schools, and all the schools are very well coached, and so you got to make sure you're coming in, ready to go to war, and certainly they went out there today and accomplished some wonderful things.
In the women's race, Laura Hollander ran her first race since August 31st. She also broke the 6K course record with a time of 20:43. She's already looking forward to her next race.
Regionals in 2 weeks, so I know that's a flat course, and I just want to go out there and try my best and hopefully be able to get some good training in these next few weeks and not deal with too much soreness in my knee and body right now, and hopefully just prepare myself the next 2 weeks as best as I can, and then do everything I can at regionals to run my best race.
NCAA Western Regionals will be held on November 15th. The Mustangs men's soccer team still has a chance to clinch the 2nd place in the Big West Northern Conference this weekend as they play against rivals UCSB in the Gauchos home stadium. Cal Poly's loss versus UC Davis earlier this week means to clinch a playoff spot, the Mustangs need at least a draw and a UC Davis loss to head to the Big West Conference tourney. The electric atmosphere may be intensified down in Santa Barbara, but the Mustangs are used to a challenge. The Mustangs captured a victory last year at Harder Stadium with the help of Mackenzie Pridham's overtime goal to seal the deal for Cal Poly.
Just like our atmosphere here, they have it down there. And even though it's not our crowd, it still pumps us up and brings that unreal environment. So, we'll be ready and prepared and bring it to them. And we were able to find a way to do it last year, so hopefully we'll be able to do it again this year.
With Pridham's goal against UC Davis, he now holds Cal Poly's career goal record with 27. He looks to extend his record and lead the Mustangs to a win this weekend, where Cal Poly has gone unbeaten 3 straight matches versus the Gauchos, a feat that hasn't been accomplished in more than a decade. The Cal Poly wrestling team may have some new faces, but the team's goals are still the same, to be atop the Pac-12. The team features 13 newcomers and 8 redshirt wrestlers from last year, as well as coaching addition Scotty Sentes from Central Michigan. Britton Longmire returns for his senior season at the 125-pound weight class, as well as Sean Doherty, who posted a 24-15 record overall last year, and a 4th-place finish in the Pac-12 finals. Dominic Castle, who won the Pac-12 165-pound weight class 2 years ago, finally returns and will now wrestle at the 174-pound weight class. The team kicks off their season tonight on the road versus CSU Bakersfield. Matches start at 7 p.m. The women's soccer team is one of 4 teams looking to win the Big West Conference title starting this week. Krieghoff and Company will open up the Big West tournament as the top seed and play 4th-seeded Cal State Fullerton on the road tonight at 7 p.m. The Mustangs won their regular season matchup versus the Titans off of a 52nd minute goal from the boot of Elise Krieghoff. Junior midfielder Sarah Lancaster is 6 points shy of joining the Cal Poly top 15 in career totals. The Mustangs' shot percentage in Big West play was .17 compared to opponents' .08. The game will be featured on ESPN3 Live. Yeah, so that's going to about do it for sports. A lot of big action coming this weekend. I'm excited to see a lot of games.
Yeah, hopefully what we did to UCLA last year, we can do to Arizona this year in basketball.
Absolutely.
After the break, we'll tell you why an internationally recognized author was signing on campus.
Welcome back, Mustangs.
We have Janet Brown in the studio to let us know what's going on campus.
Thanks, guys. There's a lot happening this weekend. Students are celebrating Native American Heritage Month through poetry. The Multicultural Center put on Another Type of Groove in Chumash Auditorium Wednesday night. The event featured Cal Poly professor and internationally recognized author Gloria Velázquez and guitarist Tony Dominguez. Velázquez wrote 2 collections of poetry, one of them titled I Used to Be a Superwoman. The goal of Another Type of Groove is to allow students to openly express themselves. It happens on the first Wednesday of every month. ASI will be holding a late-night event tomorrow night in the Rec Center. From 6 p.m. to midnight, students can participate in a ping pong tournament. The event is free to attend and will be held on the first floor of the Rec Center. The Cal Poly campus will be getting a lot more colorful this weekend. The Color Me Crazy 5K Fun Run is this Saturday at 9 a.m. The run will start at the Cal Poly Crops Unit and will continue through the orchards. Cal Poly Recreation Parks and Tourism Administration students are organizing the event, and proceeds will go towards the Special Olympics of SLO County.
It all benefits a local organization. It's being put on by Cal Poly students. All the volunteers are Cal Poly students. It's just a very local, community-oriented event.
Every participant will get their own packet of cornstarch-based paint to throw, and with 5 blast points throughout the course, runners can expect to be covered in paint by the end of the day. Online registration closes Thursday, but you can still sign up at the event starting at 7:30 a.m. The world-famous contemporary dance company, Dance Theater Harlem, makes its way through San Luis Obispo next week. The company is under new direction for this performance. Artistic director Virginia Johnson is famous for her roles in Swan Lake, Fall River, and A Streetcar Named Desire. The company will be holding a pre-show lecture on November 12th at 6:30 p.m. in the PAC Pavilion for interested participants. The show starts at 7:30 p.m. after the lecture in the Cohan Center. The Slow Symphony is performing their second series of A Sentimental Journey this Saturday in the Christopher Cohan Center at 8 p.m. This performance is based off the poetry of Rosalia de Castro and Emily Dickinson. This will be a Grammy-nominated soprano, Ava Pine's first performance with Slow Symphony. There will be 2 acts totaling a time of 2 hours, with one 20-minute intermission. Tickets are now available on tickets.calpoly.edu. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Jenna. That looks like that wraps up our weekly newscast.
Thank you for watching Mustang News. You can tune into our weekly half-hour broadcast. That's on Charter Channel 19, UHTV Channel 7, and Campus Channel 2. You can also find constant broadcast coverage on MustangNews.net. Speaking of Mustangs, we're going to take a look at the real one.
Throughout American history, Mustangs have been an icon of resilience, strength, and spirit. Thriving for centuries in herds thousands strong, they galloped across an area stretching from California to the Great Plains. For generations, the Mustang has been a symbol of pride for Cal Poly. As we study, work, and play, in all we do, we live by